Hey everyone, me Kevin here. Many of you know a few things about me. One, you know that I'm a 28-year-old real estate investor and real estate broker who drives a Tesla around with his face on it. Two, I'm currently buying another project to renovate and rent out. Three, you know there's a coupon code down below that expires in 2 days. Four, you know that I've built my net worth investing in real estate. You've probably seen my net worth video where you've seen me grow my net worth by investing in real estate. So real estate's a big deal to me. When I hear about mortgage crisis, I get nervous. 5, you know you can get 2 free stocks and life insurance in the link down below. Just deposit $100. 6, you may have heard the news about a spike in mortgage delinquencies. Well, this might sound scary, and what you might hear are headlines or topics like this. 4.3 million people missed their payments. By June 15th, the typical deadline for mortgage payments, only 15% of people in forbearance made their mortgage payments. Why would you make your mortgage payment if you're in forbearance? Anyway, more than 8% of all mortgages are past due or in foreclosure. Ooh. And up to 30% of people haven't even made their June payment yet. That was a CNBC article. And you may have also heard at the same time things like existing home sales tanked 9.7% in May, that prices moved up at the slowest rate in almost a decade, the real estate industry is crawling, and all these scary headlines. Well, here's the reality. The reality is anyone who has a mortgage would be smart to request mortgage forbearance right now. Think about it. It's an easy way to build up an emergency fund, and as long as you attest just means state, right? That you're affected by the pandemic, you can apply. And guess what? I think we're all affected by the pandemic. No certification, no paperwork, nothing, just an attestation. You check a box or you send an email. And in most cases, your payments won't even be due until the end of your loan. No penalties, no fees. So these statistics saying people are in the foreclosure process and delinquencies are up are highly skewed. In fact, if we look at the share of homeowners in the actual foreclosure process, where foreclosure proceedings are actually happening, guess what that number looks like? And let me just clarify that one more time a little bit better. The news articles are saying, oh my gosh, X number of people are in forbearance or foreclosure. Ooh, that sounds bad because they lump together forbearance or foreclosure. But when we actually zoom in and look at the percentage of people that are actually in foreclosure, we're at the lowest point we have ever been in the last 20 years, which that means we go all the way back to 2000, 2001, 2, 3. We're at the lowest point of foreclosures at any point throughout the last 20-year history, even throughout the recession or any other parts of history. And homeowner equity right now, all-time highs. And this is all really helped by the rule of 10x. Remember that rates, when they drop 1%, mortgage interest rates drop 1%, prices tend to go up 10%. Not immediately, sometimes it takes a little bit of time, especially in low inventory markets, but pretty quickly. Rates go down 1%, prices go up 10%. Rates go up 1%, prices go down 10%. It's almost this perfect yin and yang. It does take a little time for the market to realize it though. So even if people lost their jobs temporarily, let's just say, because this is another counter argument that comes up where people are like, but Kevin, okay, so what if you legitimately took mortgage forbearance and then you lose your job and then you got to go take a lower paying job? What happens when you go back to that lower paying job? Aren't you just going to go into foreclosure? Well, A, thanks to your equity being way up, thanks to the rule of 10x, probably not. But let's go worst case scenario. And let's say you happen to have a home in New York City, which is like one of the few locations in the country getting obliterated in the real estate market. That is, prices in the luxury market, like that $18 to $30 million range, those prices are down like 20% from their highs in 2017. And there's been this trend downwards of people fleeing the city, and that has just been accelerated by the pandemic. And what do you have? Well, the wealthy aren't buying because, well, prices are trending downwards. Then you see people working from home, and then you see people not wanting to be around the Rona, so prices in New York City are falling. New York City's the exception, right? The rest of the country, prices are actually increasing slowly. They're already up about 2.4% year over year. But think about this for a moment. Okay, what happens if your income gets cut and then you do go back? And worst case scenario, your property value is either flat or down, because obviously if it's up, you're not going to go into foreclosure. You'd be better off just selling the property. And there's plenty of appetite with buyers right now. So if your income goes down, well, I mean, that's bad. You might not be able to make your mortgage payment anymore, right? Well, guess what? Fannie and Freddie, backed by Mr. Powell, J. Powell, the dude with the money printer, They came swooping in going, hey, y'all. First of all, first thing we're gonna do to solve the situation here, okay? Everybody who's missed their payments through the attestation process will have their payments put to the end of the loan. That's Fannie Freddie, okay? This applies to most loans, check with your bank, but that's pretty much where this is heading. That's either already rule or it's pending rule. The second thing that they're doing is, okay. Now, once those missed payments are at the end, what about the people whose incomes have fallen? What should we do for the people whose incomes have fallen and they can no longer make or afford that same mortgage payment? How about we do a loan modification and we allow them to maybe have a 40-year mortgage instead of a 30-year mortgage, which anytime you stretch out how long a loan is, guess what? Your payments go down. Boom. No need to get foreclosed on anymore. So all of a sudden you go, so Kevin, what you're saying is Mr. J. Powell fully bailed out the mortgage market to basically make it impossible for there actually to be a mortgage crisis. Homeowners are, in essence, triple protected. Right now they're not making their payments because they don't have to. You may as well not make your payments. You're smart not to make your payments, which that sounds insane to say. Think about what I just said. I'm not going to say it again, but go back 15 seconds. But anyway, you're protected in that case. You kick the can down the road for 25 to 30 years or whatever's left on your loan. Property values are going up. And if you end up making less money because your pay got cut, you can hit up the bank for lower payment amounts, right? It's insane. It makes you want to own real estate. It makes you want to join my Zero to Millionaire real estate investing course because it's like, hello, FOMO. Like, this is too good to be true. And yeah, it is partially concerning because then you kind of start wondering like, well, does this mean we're in a bubble? Or does this mean that our government is so psychologically scarred from the last housing crisis that they will do everything in their power to prevent another housing crisis? But seriously, this is exactly why more people are buying stocks now as well through Robinhood and all these other platforms because people in a lot of cases have more money because people aren't having to make their mortgage payments. And by the way, if you want to see my stock allocation for today, June 22nd, go to metkevin.com/stocks, June 22nd. You can see the link down below as well. It'll just show you my stock picks for today. Obviously, always do your own research. In the short term, companies can go down in value or they can go up. I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know, okay? These are just my long-term beliefs. But what about the fact that there are fewer sales happening in real estate right now? And yes, fewer sales in real estate right now is a problem. But in a weird way, it's actually propping up prices. So the less people are putting the properties on the market because they're worried about the pandemic and they're waiting for things to level out, actually helps keep prices propped up. So what the heck? Like, how do we respond to this? And is there actually an issue of a real crisis happening? Well, here's the scoop. Tracking delinquencies to tell if prices are going to come down is the wrong thing to do. Instead, right now, we need to focus on tenants. If tenants get shafted because their $600 per week of unemployment ends and tenants don't get any kind of additional stimulus, I guess it's it's gonna be up to the tenants to negotiate their rent back. That is their back rent and kind of catch up, right? Now, realistically, landlords who are taking mortgage forbearance should probably be passing on a break to their tenants. That's the right thing to do. But if a landlord is not taking mortgage forbearance, then they would have to negotiate with their tenant how their tenant is going to catch up on back rent. The last thing we want to see are a wave of evictions and lawsuits that are going to screw tenants and screw the rental market, because that will end up coming back to haunt the housing market in 2 or 3 years. So what we have to keep an eye out for right now is the rental and eviction crisis, not the mortgage crisis. The mortgage crisis is fugazi. Right now, there is no mortgage crisis. There would have been a mortgage crisis, but guess what? Mr. J. Powell came in with the money. I should have a 3D printed money printer, honestly. She came in with the money printer and goes, you need money? You need money? You need money? Here's insulation for you, because you know you can't die when you got the Mario star, okay? Now, in response to the person who asked me if I'm canceling my home purchase due to the spike in the mortgage crisis, the answer to this is two-parted. I was actually in escrow on 2 properties. One was a complete disaster fixer-upper on a Sears-built home that I thought I was going to be able to renovate start renovation on within 6 to 8 weeks. Unfortunately, the city of Santa Barbara says it's going to take me, my architect putting plans together for a month, plus about 9 to 10 months. 9 to 10 months for them to go over the paperwork. That is, here's the paperwork, Santa Barbara. Santa Barbara goes, cool, we're gonna sit here for 9 to 10 months while you sit there with a vacant house, twiddling your thumbs and paying property taxes and maintenance on that property. And ordinarily I'd say insurance, but guess what? I can't get insurance on that house either because it's red tagged by the city. So if the place burns down, I lose the property and have no insurance. So that's deal number one. The second deal that I'm doing is actually a wedge deal that's going to increase my net worth about $100,000 if I just put $40,000 into cleaning it up, and instantly my net worth will go up about 100 grand doing very, very little work. 40 grand worth of work out in California is not a lot. It's like replacing the carpet. Okay, that's a joke. It's a little bit more than replacing the carpet. But yes, California is nuts. So the answer to the question, am I canceling my deals? I am canceling the Santa Barbara deal because waiting 9 to 10 months to do a deal is absolutely ridiculous, but it's because of the wait, not because of the mortgage crisis. There's a wedge deal that I'm buying with that 100 grand in equity boost. That deal I am very happy about, and I am looking for more deals just like that. So if you ever come upon a deal in Ventura County, you just hit up your boy, me, Kevin over here, and he will close the deal for you. As long as it's not that Santa Barbara deal. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Please consider subscribing. Get your 2 free stocks with Webull. Use that coupon code. Get your life insurance, especially if you're gonna go do a renovation and go buy that deal in Santa Barbara. You're gonna need life insurance because you're gonna get real stressed out real fast and easily, and it's not gonna be real good. There you have it. Thanks, everybody. Bye.